10,000 rupees a month, 30 years, 6 different places to put it. The gap between the best and the worst is almost 3 crore on the exact same salary. But the ranking everyone shows you is the wrong one, because it is before inflation and before tax. Do it properly, and 2 of these 6 actually lose you money. Start with the number everybody quotes, what each one simply grows to. 10,000 a month for 30 years is 36 lakh of your own money going in. That is the same for all 6. A savings account at under 3% turns it into 56 lakh. A fixed deposit at just over 6 turns it into 1 crore 6. The public provident fund, 1 crore 25. Your provident fund at work, 1 crore 58. Gold, 2 crore 83. An index fund, 3 crore 53. Almost 3 crore between the top and the bottom. Now the first thing that table hides, and it is the bigger of the two. 30 years from now, at the same 4.5% we used the last time, prices are 3.7 times higher. So every one of those numbers has to be divided by 3.7 to mean anything. The savings account 56 lakh becomes 15 lakh of today's money. You put in 36, you got back 15. That is not a small return, that is a loss. 21 lakh of purchasing power gone from money that never left the bank. The fixed deposit survives it just. 1 crore 6 becomes 29 lakh against 36 going in. Still underwater. And then the second thing the table hides, which finishes off the one that was only just standing. Savings interest and deposit interest are both taxed at your slab every year, whether you touch the money or not. At the top slab, that is nearly a third of the interest. The deposit stops being 1 crore 6 and becomes 73 lakh. In today's money, 20 lakh against 36 that went in. So the safest thing most Indians do with long-term money loses about 16 lakh of it, quietly, with no bad year and no crash to blame. The two government schemes are the exception. The public provident fund and your provident fund pay no tax at the end at all, which is most of why they beat the deposit. So here's the ranking that actually counts. In today's money, after inflation and after tax, from 36 lakh in. Savings account 13, deposit 20, both less than you put in. Public provident fund 34, provident fund 43, both ahead, both without taking a single day of market risk. Gold 77 lakh. The index fund 85 after the tax on the gain, more than double what you put in real terms. Same 10,000 a month, same 30 years. 6.5 times the difference between the top and the bottom is a loss. Now the part that makes this honest, because every one of those 6 numbers has a catch. The gold figure is a 20-year window. Change the window and it moves a lot. We showed in an earlier short that over one stretch, gold actually beat the index. So treat 11% as history, not a promise. 12% for the index is an assumption too. The actual 20-year number for the Nifty 50 was 12.5, so we are being slightly conservative, but a future 30 years is not owed to anybody. The public provident fund caps at 1.5 lakh a year, so 10,000 a month fits. But 12,500 is the ceiling, and it locks the money for 15 years. Your provident fund is not a choice you make monthly, and you cannot take it out and put it back. The 8.25% is real, but so is the lock. And nobody actually leaves money in a savings account for 30 years on purpose. That row is not a plan. It is what happens to money you never got around to moving. So what do you actually do with the 10,000? not all of it in the top row. The index fund wins this table, and it is also the one that falls 40% in a bad year. And the table cannot show you whether you would have held on. The money you need inside 3 years does not belong in any of the top 3 rows. That part goes in the deposit, and it is fine that it loses slowly because its job is to be there. The money you will not touch for 20 years should not be in the bottom 2 because slow and safe is the one thing it cannot afford to be. In between, that is what the Provident Fund and the Public Provident Fund are actually for. Guaranteed, tax-free, and dull, which is the point. The lesson is not that one row wins. It is that the row you pick has to match how long the money is staying. And that the safest looking option on the page is the only one guaranteed to leave you with less than you started with. Run your own amount through it. Change the inflation, change the returns, be more careful than us. Just do not compare these 6 before tax, because that table is the one that gets people wrong. Subscribe and check our arithmetic.